Hi, hi friends. This is Sujan Kumar Misa from TTWRDC, Men Maripeda. Today, I would like to explain about the types of glands in human beings. Different types of glands are present in human beings. Today, I will explain one by one. Okay? So, mainly, three types of glands are present in our body. Those are endocrine glands, exocrine glands, and heterocrine glands. Once again, I will repeat. First one is endocrine glands, second one exocrine glands, and third one heterocrine glands. So here exocrine glands are glands that secrete their products into ducts. Generally, example to exocrine glands are first one sweat glands, salivary glands, mammary glands, stomach, and liver. Okay, so sweat glands are present on the body. Salivary glands are present in buccal cavity. Generally, in mammals, four types of salivary glands are there, but in human beings, only three types of salivary glands are there. Next, mammary glands. These glands are highly developed in females, low developed in males. These glands can secrete the milk to the offsprings. Next, stomach. These are called as gastric glands, and majorly the liver, the largest digestive gland. Okay. Next one, endocrine glands. These glands are pituitary gland, pancreas, thyroid gland, and adrenal glands. So right side the diagram, the hypothalamus, the ventral side of the hypothalamus there is a pituitary gland, and neck region there is a thyroid gland, and thoracic region below the thoracic there is a adrenal glands, pancreas, and then at abdominal region one pair of ovaries in females and one pair of testes in males. So pituitary glands are present at the ventral side of the hypothalamus, pancreas related to digestive system, thyroid gland at neck region, at throat, especially throat region, and adrenal glands are present on the top of the kidneys. Okay. Next, heterocline glands. Hetero means two types of nature. These are glands that perform both exocrine and endocrine functions. For example, pancreas. So pancreas is nothing but mixed gland. In pancreas, there is duct part and ductless part is there. Duct part and ductless part. So generally, duct part secrete pancreatic juice. Okay, ductless part secretes insulin hormone. So now endocrine system, it consists of a number of glands. What are the glands? That is pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, and thymus gland. First of all, pituitary gland. Generally, the pituitary gland is the largest endocrine gland. The pituitary, it has posterior part, mid part, and anterior part. Okay. Pituitary gland consists of two major parts. Those are first one adenohypophysis and second one neurohypophysis. Okay. So adenohypophysis anterior lobe, the neurohypophysis is posterior lobe. Generally adenohypophysis influenced by hormones which come from the hypothalamus. Next, neurohypophysis, it is influenced by neurons which convey hormones directly from hypothalamic nuclei for storage of posterior lobe. So now hormones from pituitary gland. So from anterior lobe, what are the hormone? First one GH. GH means growth hormone. It helps in development of the body. Next, prolactin. Next one thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, and then adenocorticotrophic hormone ACTH. Next one follicle stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone LH. These are from anterior lobe of pituitary gland. Next, intermediate lobe of pituitary, there is a single hormone is there, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. It affects the color of the skin. Next, posterior lobe of pituitary, only two hormones are there. First one vasopressin ADH. The other name of vasopressin is antidiuretic hormone. Next one oxytocin. So only two hormones from posterior lobe of pituitary, those are vasopressin and oxytocin. From intermediate lobe only single hormone is there, that is a melanocyte stimulating hormone. From anterior lobe there is a six hormones. First one growth hormone GH, next one prolactin, next thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, and then adenocorticotrophic hormone ACTH, next follicle stimulating hormone FSH, last one luteinizing hormone LH. Okay. Next, growth hormone GH. Generally it can stimulating of growth of bones, cartilage and connective tissue. So somatomedins are synthesized in the liver in response to stimulation by the GH. The effects of GH on skeletal growth are mediated by somatomedins. So this means the growth hormone can helps in development of the body and bone. So GH hormone effects on protein and mineral metabolism. Generally GH is protein anabolic hormone. On mineral metabolism, it increases calcium absorption from GIT and decreases sodium, potassium, calcium and phosphorus excretion from kidney. So effect on carbohydrate and fat metabolism also. GH is diabetogenic because it produces hyperglycemia. The same way on fat metabolism, GH has a catabolic effect, that is increase mobilization. So mobilization of fats from adipose tissue. Okay. So the release of GH is primary under the control of two hypothalamic hormones. What are the two? The two are GH releasing hormone and GH inhibiting hormone. Generally, stimuli increases GH secretions by stimulating GHRH release, for example during exercise and stress. The same way, stimuli decrease GH secretion by release of GHIH, also called somatostatin. Next, gigantism. What is the meaning of gigantism? Gigant means the large, very huge. So it is due to overproduction of GH during adolescence. It is characterized tall stature, bilateral gynecomastia, large hand and feet. Once again, tall stature, body is very large, bilateral gynecomastia and large hand and feet. So now you are seeing the picture of Kali, the huge or giant posture. Okay. So now acromegaly. Acromegaly means, mega means big. Acromegaly, it is due excessive secretion of GH during adulthood. It is characterized by broad, thick nose, thickening of the skin, prominent brow. Prognathism means elongation and widening of the mandible. Elongation of the mandible or long jaws are present in this disease. Okay. Next one, dwarfism. Generally, dwarfism means deficiency of GH secretion. Characters are shortness of stature, small genitalia, delicate extremities, very short. In gigantism, very big. In dwarfism, very short. These are quite opposite characters. Next one, prolactin hormone. So prolactin plays an important role in the development of the mammary gland and in milk synthesis. The character of mammals, especially in females, the females can give the milk to the babies. The prolactin helps in production of milk. The prolactin hormone highly developed in females, low developed in males. So here the prolactin hormone factors are exercise, emotional stress, pregnancy, and breast feeding. At the same time, prolactin inhibitory factors also there. The hypothalamus inhibits prolactin secretion from the anterior pituitary. Dopamine may be the main prolactin inhibiting factor. Next, thyroid stimulating hormone TSH. It stimulates the thyroid gland to produce two types of hormones. Those are T4 thyroxine and T3 triiodothyronine. Okay, I'll repeat. Thyroid stimulating hormone TSH. It stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroxine T4 and triiodothyronine T3 hormones. Now, adrenocorticotrophic hormone ACTH. Generally, ACTH it is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland. It is often produced in response to biological stress. Next, its principal effects are increased production and release of corticosteroids HPA. Next one, follicle stimulating hormone FSH. Generally, FSH hormone synthesized and secreted by anterior pituitary gland. The FSH regulates the development, growth, pubertal maturation, and the reproductive process of the body. Okay. Next one, luteinizing hormone, nothing but LH. It is a hormone produced by the anterior pituitary gland. In females, especially, an acute rise of luteinizing hormone triggers ovulation. Ovulation means production of eggs and development of the corpus luteum, which secretes the egg. The layer is corpus luteum. In males, it stimulates the production of testosterone. Testosterone means it gives secondary sexual characters to the males, and estrogen it gives secondary sexual characters to the females. Next, from intermediate lobe of pituitary, there is a single hormone is there. The single hormone is MSH, that is a melanocyte stimulating hormone. Right side, the picture of the skin, the melanocyte and melanoma, epidermis and dermis. Generally, MSH it can affect the color of the skin of human beings. So, hormones of intermediate lobe, it secretes two types of hormones. First one is alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone, and second one is beta melanocyte stimulating hormone. Alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone and beta melanocyte stimulating hormone. What are the functions of the melanocyte stimulating hormone? They stimulate the production of melanin by melanocytes in skin and hair. Nothing but it can affect the color of the hair and skin. So, MSH signals to the brain have effects on appetite and sexual arousal. Now, the hormones from posterior pituitary. First one, ADH or vasopressin. The abbreviation of ADH is an antidiuretic hormone. Generally, it is a hypothalamic hormone synthesized in the cells of the supraoptic nucleus. ADH is stored in the posterior pituitary. So, what is the functions of ADH? Functions of ADH. Generally, it's two primary functions. What are the two primary functions? First one, to retain water in the body or storage of water in the body for biological activities. Next one, to constrict blood vessels. These are the two functions of antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin. Next one, diabetes insipidus. It is a condition characterized by excessive thirst. What is that? Excessive thirst. Next, excretion of large amounts of severely diluted urine. Next, polyuria. It is one type of disease from excessive or abnormally large production of urine. That means at least 2.5 or 3 liters in adults. Next one, from pituitary gland, from posterior region, second hormone is oxytocin. So oxytocin is synthesized in the hypothalamus and stored in the posterior lobe of pituitary gland. Action of oxytocin: generally oxytocin stimulates contraction of mammary gland to produce milk at the time of the birth of the child. The stimulate contraction of the smooth muscles of the uterus at the time of birth. At the time of birth. Once again, oxytocin stimulates contraction of mammary gland to produce milk and stimulates contraction of the smooth muscles of the uterus. Okay. Next one, thyroid gland. Generally, thyroid gland, one pair of thyroid glands are present at throat region. On the top of the thyroid glands there is a parathyroid glands. First one we will discuss about the thyroid gland. Okay. Now anatomy of the thyroid gland. Right side the picture represents the thyroid gland at neck region. The greenish part is thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage, and a reddish part is lobe of thyroid gland, and the lower part is isthmus of thyroid gland, and bluish part is trachea. Okay, one pair of thyroid glands are present at the neck region, at the throat. The thyroid glands is situated in the neck in front of the larynx and trachea. You know about that. It weighs about 25 grams each one. It looks like a butterfly in shape. Two thyroid glands are look like a butterfly in shape, consisting of two lobes. The lobes are joined by a narrow isthmus. Okay, the isthmus is present in the lower part of the lobe of thyroid gland. Next one, what are the thyroid hormones? Already we will discuss about the T3 and T4 in introduction. The first is T3 triiodothyronine and T4 thyroxine. So T3 triiodothyronine, it affects almost every physiological process in the body. It affects almost every physiological process in the body: the growth and development, metabolism, body temperature, and heart rate. So these activities are affected by triiodothyronine. What are that? Growth and development, metabolism, body temperature, and heart rate. Next, what about the thyroxine T4? It controls development and maturation. Excess thyroxine results in rapid development in the body, and then deficiency of thyroxine results in delayed development. These two characters are quite opposite. What are that? Excess thyroxine results rapid development, and deficiency of thyroxine results in delayed development. So calcitonin, it is a hormone secreted by the C cells of thyroid glands. The actions, what are the actions of C cells? These cells can help in increase bone calcium, increase in bone calcium to decrease blood calcium levels. Okay, calcitonin opposes the effects of parathyroid hormone, which acts to increase the blood level of calcium. That is the important point. Next, thyroid is not absolutely essential for life. That means it is not essential, not need to the human beings, but its removal in adults, if we remove in adults, it leads to poor resistance to cold, mental and physical slowing, and in children's mental retardation and dwarfism. Dwarfism means very short body. Next, regulation of thyroid secretion. Thyroid stimulating hormone controls the regulation of thyroid hormones. The release of TSH by the anterior lobe of the pituitary, it regulated by the hypothalamus via negative feedback mechanism. Okay, right side the mechanism, please see here. Hypothalamus TRH, pituitary gland TSH, thyroid gland T3 T4 and peripheral tissues T4 and T3. This is the mechanism. It is a reaction that causes a decrease in function. It occurs in response to some kind of stimulus. So, what are the diseases related to thyroid gland? The first disease is goiter. Any enlargement of the thyroid gland is called goiter caused by iodine deficiency. In thyroxine hormone, there is an element that is iodine. So, what are the features? First one, swelling in the neck. So, neck region it can swell or enlarge. Next, breathing difficulties, cough, hoarseness, and last one, swallowing difficulties. At the time of swallowing, we may face difficulties, that is swallowing difficulties. Next one, hypothyroidism. Hypo means less releasing of thyroxine hormone. It is meant for hypothyroidism. So, what are the characters of hypothyroidism disease? It is the condition resulting from reduced circulating levels of T3 and T4, two types of hormones of thyroid. So, characteristic features are goiter, puffiness of face with periorbital swelling. You may see in diagram, dry hair, lateral eyebrows thinness, periorbital edema, swelling, puffy dull face with dry skin. These are the features. Next one, loss of scalp hairs, ptosis, that is a drooping of upper eyelid, dry, thickened, rough and yellow skin. These are the characters. What are the characters? Goiter, puffiness of face with periorbital swelling, loss of scalp hairs, ptosis, that is a drooping of upper eyelid, dry, thickened, rough and yellow skin. Next, what about hyperthyroidism or Graves disease? Hyperthyroidism or Graves disease. Hyper means excess. Excess release of thyroxine, it leads to some abnormalities, that is hyperthyroidism or Graves disease. So, Graves disease is the condition resulting from increased circulating level of T3 and T4. Increased means excess. What are the characters? Right side the diagram, the abnormal features in face. First one, enlargement of thyroid gland at neck region or throat region, and exophthalmos, lid retraction. Exo means outside, ophthalmology means study about the eyes, goiter means it is abnormality by thyroid excess thyroxine hormone. Okay, enlargement of eyes, that is exophthalmos. Next one, parathyroid glands. So, now right side the diagram, thyroid gland and parathyroid glands are there. On the surface of the thyroid glands, one pair of thyroid glands, there is two pairs of parathyroid glands in small size in yellowish color. It is a back view. In humans, there are 4 parathyroid glands are present. These are essential for life, as the removal can cause death from asphyxia. It is a very dangerous situation. Okay. Now, functions of parathyroid hormone. Generally, the chief cells can secrete the parathyroid hormone. The two pairs of parathyroid hormones, parathyroid glands are present on the surface of the thyroid glands. These parathyroid glands can secrete the hormone parathyroid. The main function of parathyroid hormone, that means parathyroid, is to increase the blood calcium level. So diseases related to parathyroid gland. What are the diseases? Right side there is a diagram. It resembles the disease by the parathyroid. Signs of rickets. First one, rickets, bony necklace, curved bones, big joints, and bowed legs. So first of all, what is the rickets? Related to bone disease, generally it is a disease characterized mainly by bone deformities in young children. The disease of children sets in about 6th month of life. 6th month of life, it is the important thing. Deformed bones, mainly deformed bones, thick wrist and ankles, and retarded growth. Growth is very slow by this abnormalities of this hormone. Next, osteomalacia. Second disease is osteomalacia. Generally, osteomalacia is due to inadequate absorption of calcium. Inadequate absorption of calcium due to deficiency of vitamin D and calcium in our diet. Deficiency of vitamin D and calcium in our diet. The disease is limited to females, usually appears after multiple pregnancies and lactation. At the time of lactation and multiple pregnancies, we may face this type of disease, that is osteomalacia. Next, hypoparathyroidism, less release of parathormone, that is hypoparathyroidism. Generally, it is an abnormally low level of calcium in the blood. The characteristic features, right side there is a picture. Psychiatric disturbance, paresthesia, development of cataract. Main character is psychiatric disturbance. That is the main thing by the less release of parathormone, nothing but hypoparathyroidism. Next, hyperparathyroidism. Hyper means excess. Excess release of parathormone leads to some abnormalities in human beings. The abnormalities are formation of renal calculi, polyuria, polydipsia, anorexia, muscle weakness, general fatigue, and calcification of soft tissue. Once again I will repeat: formation of renal calculi, polyuria, polydipsia, anorexia, muscle weakness, general fatigue, and calcification of soft tissue. Next one, the gland, heterocrine gland or mixed gland, pancreas. Now this picture resembles the TSF pancreas. Here different types of cells are there. Two regions are there. Outside region, the light greenish part is exocrine part, and the center part bluish and orange color body cells are endocrine part, and white parts are blood capillaries. The exocrine glands can releases pancreatic juice, and endocrine part different types of cells are there. Those are F cells, secretes pancreatic polypeptide, alpha cells secretes glucagon, beta cells secretes insulin, and delta cells secretes somatostatin. Delta cells secretes somatostatin. Now insulin, generally beta cells secretes the insulin. And what are the actions of insulin. On carbohydrate metabolism, insulin increases the glucose entry into most of body cells. Insulin produces hypoglycemia on the protein metabolism. Insulin promotes amino acid uptake, it decreases protein breakdown, it promotes protein synthesis, especially in muscles. So, nothing but insulin involves in carbohydrate metabolism. Diabetes mellitus. So, what is the diabetes mellitus? It is a group of metabolic diseases in which there are high blood sugar over a prolonged period. This is high blood sugar produces the symptoms of frequent urination, increased thirst and increased hunger. These are the three characters by diabetes mellitus. Tasty urine. Why? Because the sugar molecules are present in urine, that is a tasty urine. Frequent urination or rapid urination, increased thirst and increased hunger. These are the three things are present in diabetes mellitus condition. Glucagon. Alpha cells secretes the glucagon hormone. Generally, glucagon hormone stimulates glycogenolysis and promotes gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis means new glucose molecules will be produced. Next, delta cells secretes somatostatin. The somatostatin hormone that is widely distributed throughout the body, especially in the hypothalamus and pancreas. It can regulate the endocrine and nervous system of functions. Next one, adrenal glands. Generally, adrenal glands are present on the top of the kidneys. There are two adrenal glands are there. Those are about 4 centimeters long and 3 centimeters thick. It has two parts. Outer part is the cortex and lower part or inner part is medulla. Outer cortex and inner medulla. So, totally two adrenal glands are present on the top of the two kidneys. So, there is a two parts, outer cortex and inner medulla. Generally, the outer cortex, it produces three hormones. Those are glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids and sex hormones, that means androgens. These are collectively called as adrenocorticoids. These are three called as adrenocorticoids.